All right, guys, it's Diego going live, running live for you, live stream from here in Florida. Now, it's not as hot today as we wait for our National Visa Center NVC welcome letter, whatever you want to call it, from New Hampshire. Karina is in Bogota, Colombia. She's from Venezuela, beautiful Venezuela, but she's a legal resident of Colombia. And I live here in the Panhandle of Florida near Pensacola, and we're waiting for our welcome letter from the National Visa Center. Our NOA1 letter is dated April 18th, 2022. Man, I can't remember that far back. Can you guys remember that far back? And the NOA2 letter is dated May 30th, 2023. So it takes about 3 months to get your welcome letter from the NVC. So we are waiting for that. So probably the first week of September. Teja Sweeney, hi Diego. So for K1 visa, do we fill out the DS160 or DS260? You don't fill out a DS260, Teja Sweeney. That's for a spousal visa. Okay? The 260 is a spousal visa. If you are married, that's when you fill out the DS260. Now, you're going through the K1 visa, okay? The K1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. It's a non-immigrant visa. That means it's treated like a tourist visa, but it's not. Okay? So you fill out the DS160. Okay? The DS160 is filled out for the K1 visa. It's a one-way visa to the United States of America. One direction. You leave your home country in whatever beautiful country you live in. Okay? But before you do that, you fill out the DS160. Okay? That's for the K1 visa, non-immigrant visa. But you're going to click on immigrant visa in the SEAC system. Confusing, isn't it? Well, welcome to the land of the U.S. government. The K1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. You fill out the DS160. But in the SEAC account, when you look for your travel doc country, it's treated as an immigrant visa. Where do we go to create our account? In the SEAC system. I have the NVC case number, invoice ID, and beneficiary ID. Teja Sweeney, you're good to go. What are you waiting for? Get going. Get started on your K1 visa. Go into SEAC, the Consular Electronic Application Center. You should receive an email with that information on it, on how to do it. Okay? Go into the SEAC, create the account, put in the captcha code, create a password. It's gonna generate an ID number. Go into your beneficiary or your home country. Look for your country. Karina's in Colombia. We'll look for Bogota. We'll look for Colombia. Boom, you get started. Pay the visa fee. Okay? Fill out the DS160. Print the confirmation page. Schedule the visa interview. Jacob. Hello, Diego. What's going on, Jacob? Teja Sweeney, please explain a little bit. I'm a little confused about what to do as of right now. There's no confusion. You got everything you need to start your visa. Read that letter. Read the letter. The NVC sent you an email, right? What does it say? How does it tell you? What does it tell you to do? Jacob ran into a few hiccups. Going to be calling the embassy because we paid our visa fee, but the travel docs say that it has been validated. Okay, so you paid the visa fee, and it's been validated. Okay, what's the trouble? What's the problem? Schedule the interview. Fresh Skater 24, Diego, how is everything? We are good. Isaac Medrano, hey Diego, Isaac and Julia here. What's going on, Isaac and Julia? Where are you guys at? I can't remember. Let me know where you're at. Which country? Which city? Which state? Patty Connolly. Hello, Diego. My son logs into his USCIS account, and there's nothing in there but I-129. He did an RFE on the 21st of July. Okay. So you're still waiting for the RFE to get adjudicated. Just wait, get the RFE, wrap up the RFE, and then the process will continue. Then you'll get your NOA2 letter. Abdeli Keita. Hi, Diego. Hey, what's going on, Abdeli? Tasia Sweeney, I have not received any email through, just provided the IDs. Well, how did you get the information? If you didn't get an email, did you get a letter? How did you get all this info? Let's see here. How long is the ready status good for? It's good until you get your K1 visa process. You're good. It's not going to expire. Abdali, do I have to receive an email to start working on my DS-160 form? Well, you don't have to if you've got the information. Do you have your case number? Do you have your invoice number? Do you have information to get it started? You got to have the information. The case number you need especially. Not being validated, Jacob Myers. Okay. Not being validated. Abdeli, is the visa application and DS-160 form similar? Yes, it's the same. It's exactly one and the same thing. The DS-160 is a free form. You don't have to pay any money to fill it out. Okay. The DS-160 is the application for the K1 visa. All right. That's what it is. You're applying for the K1 visa. You also fill out a DS-160 if you want to apply for a tourist visa, but you're filling out a K1 visa application. Actually, when I go into SEAC, it doesn't ask me to create a passport. It just says that MVC. Okay, so you can't do anything, Ashley, until it goes to the embassy and you get the ready status. Wait for the ready status. ISAC, Florida and Brazil. Okay, that's right. Now I remember. Ashley Santana, you got to wait for the ready status before you can proceed, okay? The embassy hasn't received your visa yet. Abdali, case is ready, but when I log in to SEAC, I'm not getting any option to upload documents. No, you don't upload any documents in the SEAC system, Abdali. Zero. There's nothing to upload. All you're going to do is pay the visa fee, do the DS-160. Schedule the interview. Fresh Skater 24. My fiance has her interview in October, so we are both just relaxing ourselves till then. There you go, Fresh Skater 24. There you go. Relax till October. That's fantastic. It's an easy process, right? Jacob, the DS-160 for the interview is still good, being as it's being done way before the interview. Yeah, you're good. Abdali, K visas are non-immigrant visas that assist spouses. We know this. Yes. Isaac Medrano, when do we pay for the visa and who schedules the interview? Okay, you pay for the visa when you get the ready status in the SEAC system, or your beneficiary pays it at the bank in her country. It depends on what country. It depends on the embassy rules. What does the embassy tell you to do? Pay through the SEAC system or pay at a bank in the home country. Okay? And then you schedule the interview, the beneficiary or you, Mr. Sponsor. Fresh Skater 24, should I complete the DS-160 30 days before the interview? That would be a good idea. 30 days before, then print the confirmation page. Only takes about 45 minutes to do the DS-160. It's an easy form to fill out. You just got to take your time. Don't rush it. Okay? Don't rush. Let me see here. Screen F, KJ, how many days will it take for NOA1 letter? Week to 10 days. So I'm assuming that you just mailed in your K1 visa package. You just mailed it, right? Good job. Week to 10 days, you'll get your NOA1 letter. Bishal, hey Diego, I too have a question for you. We are waiting for a K1 visa interview, but I'm wondering if we have to upload anything to SEAC. No, zero, nothing. You don't upload anything into the SEAC system in a K1 visa, guys. The only thing you're going to upload is a passport photo for the K1 for the DS-160, and then the passport photo is used in the K1 visa in the passport. That's it. So much easier than a spousal visa, right? Jacob, why after we paid the other day we went to a branch? Why would when we put the receipt number in it says not valid? Don't know. I don't know, Jacob. But what you need to do is pay your visa fee, either probably in the bank in your beneficiary's home country. That's what it sounds like. Patty Connolly, okay, but it isn't showing any info on the site. Nothing under the history. It's just blank. That's right. Nothing's going to show up until you get the NOA2 letter. It's in RFE status. Okay? It's being processed. Teja Sweeney, when I emailed the MVC, they just provided the IDs and did not receive any instructions. Okay, so the embassy contacted you. Okay. So now you went now. So the MVC contacted you and they gave you an ID. Then email the embassy and ask them what to do. The embassy, once the MVC is done with your case, they don't have nothing more to do with it. It goes to the embassy, and the embassy is in control of your visa. Okay? Nikki Alcoli, Diego, greetings from Houston, Texas. After 8 weeks of RFE response, finally got approved. Patience is the key. Nikki, you are learning this process. You're a winner. Nikki, everybody give a high five to Nikki. Okay? She's patient. She waited it out. She got her RFE completed. Now you got your NOA2, right? Ashley, anyone else have this at MVC status? Whoops, slap, I got a letter from the MVC. They said they don't send K1 visas, a welcome letter. They only send a case number. Okay, well, the MVC, you got an employee at the MVC that's a new guy or a new lady. Okay? The MVC will send you a letter, an email with a case number, which is a welcome letter. And then the embassy will send you a packet 4, which is a list of instructions. Okay? You get the packet 3 and the packet 4. Let me see. Teja Sweeney, can someone provide the link to pay the interview fee and create an account? Go into SEAC, the Consular Electronic Application Center. That's where you get your answers. Bishal Kanal, does the beneficiary have to bring petitioner's passport size photos to the interview? I would too. I would. If they need it, they ask for it. If they don't need it, they won't. It depends on the embassy. Depends on the immigration officer. Always cover yourself. Bring more than you need. Okay? Always bring more than you need. Then that way you're covered. Let's see. Teja Sweeney is talking to Whoopslap. Ashley, DS-160 only good for 30 days. That's right. It's only good for 30 days. But if you feel that, if you have a visa interview scheduled, if you've scheduled your visa interview, okay, and if you have paid your visa fee and you've done all that, go ahead and fill out the DS-160 and print the confirmation page. Okay, you're good to go. Just print it because your visa interview is scheduled. Now, if you want to fill out the DS-160 before you scheduled your visa interview, all right, and it's just hanging out there, then it's only good for 30 days. My recommendation is to schedule the visa interview, pay the visa fee, and do the DS-160 all in the same time frame. And then you print your confirmation page, and your DS-160 confirmation page is good. It's good. Let me see. Teja Sweeney. It's been 80 days since approval and still nothing. Jacob, we did pay the bank got signature and everything. Okay, so you've paid for your visa. Now you just got to schedule the interview. Joshua Mupenzi, how long does it take to get an NOA2 if I just filed this month? 11 months, 12 months, Joshua. So if you filed in August of 2023 for your K1 visa, good job. By July of next year, you should hear something. Okay? So you just started this process. Well, that's good. Don't want to miss anybody here. Well, I got Ashley's question, Teja Sweeney, Joshua, Freshgated 24, I did the DS-160 over a month ago, but I remember you said it expires in 30 days. So I'll complete it a month before the interview. Do that. Then you know for sure you're good, right? If you haven't paid the visa fee. Jeff Mantock. Hello, Diego. Hey, Jeff. Screenath KJ. Does all cases go to California? No, not all of them. 93%. 93% of all K1 visas go to California. Some go to Texas. Okay. Some go to Vermont, except Nebraska gets a few. But the majority go to California. Christopher Brown, when the MVC sends the welcome letter, how soon after is the file sent to the embassy? Depends on how busy the embassy is. If it's usually it's within 2 to 4 weeks, but it depends on how busy the embassy is. Nelson Gooden, Brazil requires DS-160 prior to the scheduling the interview. Okay. So Rio de Janeiro and Brazil, they have their own way of doing this. They want you to fill out the DS-160 first. And then the DS-160 won't expire. The 30 days is you have 30 days to submit it after you start the application. That's correct. This per consulate in Rio de Janeiro. That's absolutely right. You have 30 days to submit it after you start the process. Okay? So if you've paid your visa fee, and you're scheduling your visa interview, you can fill out the DS-160, print it, the confirmation page, and it's good. Okay? But if you start the DS-160, okay, and then 30 days expires and you haven't finished it, you haven't submitted it, you haven't paid the visa fee, etc., then it expires. Then you have to redo it. Jacob, but when we put the receipt number into Travel Docs, says not valid. Okay, so you went into Travel Docs in the SEAC system and the receipt number is not valid. Huh. Have you tried the case number? Have you tried try the case number. The receipt numbers from the NOA2 letter, right? Sweet T2, what should I do after the ready status? Didn't get an email for instructions. Well, you email the embassy and ask them. So email the embassy and say, hey, this is my beneficiary's name, date of birth. This is the case number. This is the invoice number. We're in the ready status. Please email me directions on what to do. Okay? They'll email you. The embassy will let you know. Jacob, no, it was from the paying receipt from the bank. Okay, well, you don't put that number into your SEAC account, okay? You don't. That's just a receipt from paying your MER fee, your visa fee. Whoops slap, sorry, I was driving. I get that it was probably a new person. Yeah, definitely. When they sent me the case number, they accidentally added their email address. I tried to email them and it responded. And they responded, ha ha, there you go. You got a new person working your case, okay? So hey, don't worry about it. You're in the process. Okay, who's sending me messages in my phone? So just keep going with it. Keep going, whoop slap. You are good to go. You're gonna get your visa. No, of course there's no valid record because they don't recognize the receipt number from a MERV receipt. You gotta have the case number. Okay? Use your case number. The embassy controls the process once you get the ready status, guys. Okay? The MVC response controls the process when you get the welcome letter. When you get the email from the MVC, they say we have it. Okay? Then the MVC will ship it. You'll get an FTP1 email. They say it's in transit. It gets in transit. It goes to the embassy. The embassy gets it. It becomes a ready status. Teja Sweeney, I'm stressed about getting the visa. What if my beneficiary says something wrong about me at the interview? Teja Sweeney, what you are thinking negatively. That's not good. Why would your beneficiary say something wrong about you in the interview? Seriously. That's not going to happen. Jorge Rivas Savello. Poland has stopped receiving Russian citizens for fiancé visa interviews. Where are they sending Russian citizens? Thank you. Well, you can go pretty much to any embassy as long as you can get your beneficiary to that country. Okay. So let's suppose you fly your beneficiary from Russia, let's say to I don't know, South America, somewhere in South America. So you just got to find another embassy. Okay, you get to pick. You pick when you fill out the I-129F. You tell the immigration folks where you want to have the visa interview. Okay, so if I don't know why Poland stopped receiving Russian citizens. I don't know why that is. Maybe they're overwhelmed with work. They want to spread out the wealth. They want to spread the work out. Ashley Santana. So my information regarding case number and invoice number came from an inquiry. Do you think this is the reason I still show at MVC? That's right. That's exactly right. An inquiry, okay, isn't the... You need to wait for the official confirmation that the MVC has your visa. You can send inquiries every day, all day long. It doesn't necessarily mean that the embassy has your case yet. You just got to wait. Patience. So, and Teja Sweeney, don't stress this process, please. It's an easy process. You just got to wait it out. Okay, I'm waiting just like you guys. Karina, okay, is waiting. You're waiting. Everybody's waiting. And there's a process you got to follow. And it's not hard. You just follow the directions from the MVC and then from the embassy. Daggy, hi Diego. Happy Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. I have a question on the DS-160. We filled out the DS-160 and wondering how the expiration date. I thought 30 days it has to be submitted after you start the application. Okay, you fill out the DS-160, you print the confirmation page, and you're done. That's it. If you commence filling out the DS-160 and you don't complete it, okay, you don't complete it, then it expires. Jacob, Diego, you passed my question. You put in the case number. I tried the MERV receipt. The MERV receipt's got absolutely nothing to do with your K1 visa, other than it has proof of payment. Proof of payment. You use the case number, my friend. The case number. Okay, we will call them when it opens in 40 minutes. Jacob. Nikki Okoli. Diego, what kind of background check will the beneficiary go through? A police check, national police check. The FBI does it. You know, they go through they'll contact the police in the country where the person lives. Like Colombia, Karina lives in Colombia. The FBI will contact the Colombian police, the state police. Let me see. Jacob, Diego, the one above the one, please. Let's see. Your case number from your receipt doesn't work. Okay, the MERV receipt's got nothing to do with anything. It says please validate the receipt number. Okay. So you have to validate the receipt number from paying your visa fee. Guys, come on now. Let's see what we got here. Teja Sweeney. It's been 1 year since I met my fiance and I'm not able to because I have classes and working. Daggy. Yes, we submitted it because the embassy requires it prior to scheduling an interview. There you go. So do we have to redo it again? No. If you've already submitted it, you don't have to redo it. Don't redo it. You've already submitted it. Nelson Gooden. Diego, great job. Thanks, Nelson. People need to keep in mind every visa is different. That's right. And every embassy is different. That's right. So a particular case may be slightly different than what you say, but your info is good. I'm just guiding you guys, okay? I can go by what I know from the embassies in Colombia, Ecuador, Philippines, India, Mumbai. You know, every embassy and consulate have their own way of doing things. Thomas Farrell, you should be paid consulting fees from USCIS and MVC. No, that's okay. I don't need to do that. Christopher Stout. Hi, Christopher. Good to see you. Jacob, how the heck do I validate it? What are you trying to validate? Are you trying to validate what are you trying to validate, Jacob? Nelson Gooden, just follow the instructions you are sent through them, and that will address any slight differences from what Diego says. That's right. Follow the directions that you're given in the MVC welcome letter or the MVC email. Whoopslap, we are all struggling to be with our loved ones. Hang in there. You're right. You can do this. That's why you came here, for support. We're going to help you, but you got to follow the directions from the embassy, from the MVC, what they tell you to do. Read the directions. Read slowly. Bishal Canal. I filled my DS-160 before scheduling my interview and printed the confirmation page. The interview is scheduled after 65 days of filing and printing of DS-160. Am I on track? According to your embassy, you're good to go, as long as you got the confirmation page. Nika Siete, welcome back. Hi, Diego. Do you provide guidance and advice on the steps to take for adjustment of status? Absolutely, I do. I plan to submit that for my fiance as soon as possible after marriage. Well, that would be a good idea, because if you don't, okay, she'll get deported. You got to file for the adjustment of status, and my recommendation is within 90 days before the I-94 visa times out. You want to get it done before your 90 days permission slip to be in America is up. If you can submit it that quick, you'll get your green card a lot quicker. Jacob, I have to validate that I paid the fee. Okay, do you have the receipt? Where do you have to validate that you paid the fee? Where? What does your embassy tell you? Where to validate? Where? In the SIAC account, right? Daggy, so the 30 days expiration applies for open application for not submitted ones. Right, that's right. Antonio, I changed jobs. Do I need to let USCIS know? No, you don't. You don't have to. You tell them when you fill out the I-134, the Declaration of Financial Support, that's when you put your updated changes, whether you moved, whether you changed your job or whatever. Nika Siete, for example, is it expensive? It's time consuming, the K1 visa process. Can you pay for yours to be processed faster? No. Can I travel to some office to get it processed the same day? No. No. You cannot pay to speed up the K1 visa process. There's no premium processing. None. You get in line with everybody. Jason, hello, Diego, and everyone here. Today makes 8 months since NOE 1. Waiting and waiting and waiting. Myself being a government employee, I can tell you the government is not in a hurry. Jason. Christopher, I'm hanging in there. I am at 287 days now before I get the NOA 2. Bees now. My case status is ready on SIAC, but no invoice ID. What do I do? Process the visa. Process it. Pay the visa fee. Start the process. You may not need your invoice number. Your embassy may not require it. Get started on it. Jorge Rivas Cervelo. That's right. In the application, I-129F request Turkey. Is it possible? Yes. Put Turkey down. It's a lot easier to get into Turkey from Russia. Christopher, they put on hold for green cards until 2025 because of a backlog. Never heard of it. 2025. There's a halt for green cards because of backlogs. Well, I haven't seen that put out anywhere. Jacob, travel, yes, travel docs, but that said, the number is not the valid one. Okay, now I understand. So you went into travel docs and they want you to validate that you paid for your visa fee, right? And the receipt number that you got doesn't validate. Is that correct? Email the embassy and tell them. Explain the situation. Email the embassy. Retro rock and roll. Hey Diego, from my research, some embassies allow you to pay for a visa and schedule appointments through travel docs. That's right. Other embassies like Ciudad Juarez sends you a letter with appointment date and time. So it's different. Retro. Mexico is running their process differently from other embassies. The embassy decides. The ambassador controls the show at the embassy. Any idea on I-134 updates? I'm not worried about it. I-134, fill it out like you just fill out the ones they got on USCIS.gov forms. Fill out the one that they have available, and you'll be good. Nick Osietti, no, not that the K1 visa process, the adjustment of status is the process just as time consuming as the K1. Is it just expensive? Is it just as expensive? The K1 visa, when you adjust your status for green card, it's more expensive. You got to pay more money for the green card than you do for the K1 visa. Okay, costs more money, but the time frame isn't as long. It's not 25 months or 2025. You get your green card within 6-8 months. Depends on where you live in the United States. Fievi Stray POV. Hi Diego from New Hampshire. Greetings, New Hampshire. Christopher, it was status of YouTube on USCIS News. Well, I don't watch USCIS News, okay? I don't watch that. I don't watch it. I want real information. Teja Sweeney, they provided my necessary IDs to pay fees, but they are asking for DS-160. And I do not want to fill it out because mine is not at the ready status. Fill it out and send it. Fill it out and print the confirmation page, Teja Sweeney, on your DS-160. Get her done. Get off this live stream and go fill out your DS-160 and send it and print the confirmation page. Jacob, okay, going to call the embassy in 30 minutes to explain. There you go. Email them, call them. Daggy, any idea on the I-134 update? No update. Just fill out the one they got right now online. USCIS.gov/forms. I-134, Declaration of Financial Support. Fill out the one that's showing up in the forms. Vivian Chamaka Uzama. Hi Diego, how are you doing? How is Karina? Karina's good, Vivian. She is at home with our niece, Paula, baby Paula. A shout out to baby Paula. Okay. She is playing with baby Paula, missed our cat. We got a cat, Tokyo. So Paula is going to spend 3 days with Karina, our niece, so she can hang out with our cat. So that's what's going on right now in Colombia. Jeff Mantalk, green card fees around $1,200. That's right. And that includes the biometrics. Retro rock and roll. My case was ready for a few days ago. I filled out the DS-160. Now I'm waiting for a letter where it will have instructions and appointment date. There you go. Whoop slap, $1,225. Retro, my confirmation page says to take confirmation page, passport, and approval letter. There you go. Bring it to the interview. Bishal Kane, thank you, Diego, for taking your time to answer our repeated questions. No problem. It's no problem for me. I'll get you through this. But you got to remember, every embassy's got their own way of doing things. The MVC have got new people, and they don't know what they're doing. USCIS is the only government entity that's actually functioning the way I like it right now, because they're getting the job done, and they're getting it done quick. MVC not so well. Embassies Well, embassies are embassies. They do whatever they want to do, right? But you'll get your visa. Daggy, do the joint sponsor fill out I-134 similar to mine or I-864? Okay, Daggy. When you go to the embassy interview, when your beneficiary goes to the embassy interview, all right, your beneficiary will have an I-134, okay, right here, signed by you in black ink and dated by you in black ink, filled out completely. Don't miss a spot. If something doesn't apply, you put NA, okay? That's for the visa interview at the embassy, I-134. Now, when your beneficiary gets to the United States and you guys get married, then you fill out the I-864 for the green card, which is the affidavit of support. Okay, you got it? Vivian, we received our case number yesterday, but there's no invoice number. Don't worry about it. Should we be worried? No, don't worry about it. Apparently, your embassy doesn't require it. Again, what's next after the MVC case number? So Vivian, now you're going to wait for the ready status from the embassy. When you get the ready status, then you're going to process your K1 visa, either through travel docs, okay? Just follow the directions from the embassy in the packet 4 letter. Jorge, what are the chances of receiving NOA 2 letter in 12 months? Very good. Thank you very much, Diego, for so much help to all of us. No worries, Jorge. You'll probably get your NOA 2 letter in 11 months. Things are speeding up. USCIS is moving pretty quick now. Francois Livingston. Good evening, Diego. Hello, Francois. And waiting and waiting and waiting. But while waiting and waiting and waiting and watching this awesome channel to educate myself on the process. Well, that's some good time spent, right? You're spending some time where you're learning how to do this, okay? Now, somebody asked me to make a video on how to put together a K1 visa package from A to Z. I can do that. I've made videos about it in the past, but I can make a new video, a fresh new video on how to put a K1 visa package together. I'll do that for you guys. I'll put a video together on how to adjust status to green card, okay? It's not a difficult process. It just requires attention to detail. Ashley Santana, when I check status under non-immigrant on SEAC, it tells me to fill out DS-160, but again, still no ready status. This may be what Taja Sweeney is seeing as well. Could be. It could be. You got to wait for the embassy to be ready for you guys. If the embassy's not ready for you, you're not going to get anywhere in this process. That's why I recommend you email the embassy, okay, and check in with them when the MVC contacts you. Christopher, adjustment of status, $1,140 from Form 485. 85 for biometrics. Yeah, it's a $1,200 for the adjustment of status. Somewhere in there. It's not cheap. And then don't forget, you're going to have to go to an interview, perhaps. If you put together a strong adjustment of status paperwork, you may be able to get out of having to go to another visa interview. But you got to put a lot of work and sweat equity into your adjustment of status paperwork. Daggy, thank you. I don't make enough money in 2022 because I was back with my fiance. So you advised me to get a joint sponsor. Yeah, get a joint sponsor. And wondering what form the joint sponsor has to fill out for the embassy. Joint sponsor will fill out the I-134. You're going to need the joint sponsor's W-2s, 1099s, tax transcripts, a letter from the joint sponsor's employer, and pay stubs. Put together a folder for your joint sponsor for the embassy interview. Put together a folder for you, Daggy. So Daggy, you're going to put together 2 financial folders, one for you, one for your joint sponsor. In your folder, you're going to have your I-134 filled out and signed, your 1040, your W-2s, your 1099s, and your tax transcripts. Try to get 3 years, okay? Your joint sponsor will have exactly the same thing, but his or her tax transcripts, tax returns, 1040s, W-2s, 1099s, letter from the employer, bank statements for 12 months, pay stubs. What you need to prove to the embassy a consular officer is that the income is sufficient. If Daggy, if you took a year off to be with your beneficiary, that's fine. You need a joint sponsor. But make sure that you, Daggy, have bank statements for 12 months, pay stubs, let's see here, the I-134, the 1040s, and everything that I just mentioned, okay? Plus your joint sponsor, 2 separate folders. You put them together and you give them to the consular officer and say, here's my financial information, and here's my joint sponsor's financial information. So immigration will take a look at your bottom line on your income. They'll take a look at the bottom line on your joint sponsor's income, and then they're going to go ahead and approve your visa. Okay? It's all about money, right? Is the relationship real, and is the income insufficient? And are you not a criminal? Immigration care about 3 things. Are you a criminal? Is your relationship real? Do you make enough money to support your beneficiary? That's it. Make those 3 things happen, you'll get your visa. Let's see. Francois, that would be so appreciated to do an updated video on the process. Okay, I'll make one on how to put together a K1 visa package. Bishal, can you upload this video on your channel? I feel like a lot of people questions are answered here and they get benefited watching it in the future. Sure. This YouTube live that I'm doing is going to be on the channel forever. People can come back and watch it. Jason, did I understand correctly that our fiance can be deported even after getting married within 90 days if we don't file adjustment of status in 90 days? No. Your fiance will be deported if you don't get married in 90 days. You must get married in 90 days. You can adjust your status whenever you want after you get married in 90 days. But if you get the adjustment of status done within 90 days, you will get your green card quicker, faster, like a speeding bullet, like Superman in a speeding bullet. Put together a strong K1 visa package, you get your K1 visa. Put together a strong adjustment of status paperwork, you'll get your green card. If you file for adjustment of status within 90 days before the I-94 time's out, you'll get your green card a lot quicker than if you wait past 90 days. But no, your fiance is not going to get deported. Your new wife or husband is not going to get deported if you don't adjust the status within 90 days. But I recommend you do it in 90 days because it speeds up the green card process and you get your social security number quicker. Let's see. Christopher, $1,140 is the complete cost biometrics for the foreign fiance. Yeah, it's not cheap. $1,225 to be paid to USCIS. And make sure you fill out the check properly. Or, when you pay for your green card or when you pay for your K1 visa, you got to make sure you fill out the check properly. If you don't fill out the check properly and if you put the wrong amount in, everything gets shredded and sent back to you. Shredded as in stamped, rejected. Make sure you fill out the check properly. Teja Sweeney, we do not have wedding plans. Will that be a problem? We want to plan everything when my fiance comes here. Teja Sweeney, of course it's a problem if you don't have wedding plans. You got to have wedding plans. Immigration may ask you, what are your wedding plans? And if you say, I don't have any wedding plans, they're going to think that there's nothing, that's a big problem. That's a red flag. You got to have wedding plans. Make some. Make some wedding plans, okay? And have them ready to show the immigration officer at the embassy. All right? You never know what could happen. Get some wedding plans together, okay? Trust me on this. Listen to me. What do you mean you don't have wedding plans? You better have some wedding plans. Christopher Stout, I'm doing justice of the peace in the court. There you go. Perfect. Send an email to the justice of the peace and ask him, how do I get married in the courthouse? Now, you know how to get married in the courthouse, right, Christopher? Obviously, you know how to do that. But you are putting wedding plans in place. Send an email to the courthouse. Hey, what do I got to do to get married? What's the process? the courthouse will email you back. This is the process. Okay? And then sign off you, Christopher, and your beneficiary's name. Christopher Stout, United States of America. Your beneficiary's name, whatever country she lives in. Print those emails, the communications between you and the courthouse. That is proof of wedding plans. You're putting something together. Then give those wedding plans, those emails, give them to your beneficiary so she can take them to the visa interview. So if they ask her, do you have any wedding plans? She can say, well, yeah, here's the emails that my sponsor has been sending to the courthouse. And this is the response back. Those are wedding plans. Teja Sweeney, you better be putting wedding plans together like today. Like today. All right? Asif Amir. Hi Diego, really appreciate all of your videos and information regarding the process. I finally received my NOA2 on August 15th. Approximately how much wait time for the MVC? 3 months. And then it depends on which country, Asif, that your beneficiary lives, will determine how long it takes for the embassy to process your K1 visa. Depends on which country she lives in. But it takes about 3 months, 90, 100 days, somewhere in there, for you to wait for the MVC to contact you. Nick Palomo, good evening, Diego. How many translations do we need of the birth certificate and police clearance report? Just one? If I need to order more than one more, or can we make copies? Just make copies. Get one. Here's your birth certificate. It's all in Spanish, right? Or it's all in South Korean, or it's in Japanese, or it's in Arabic, or whatever country. Translate it into English, and then make copies of the translations. Make copies. Don't keep paying for you don't need to keep paying. Okay? PB, look at you. Super chat from PB. Still listening and learning. Get some Mountain Dew. I got 2 left in the fridge, Pete. I got 2 Mountain Dews left in the fridge, and yesterday I knocked one over. So when I get done with this live chat tonight, I'm going to zip over to Walmart and get some more. I appreciate that super chat. You're always there for me on the Mountain Dew, and I got 2 left. Let me see. Daggy, I don't want to miss anybody here. Nick Palomo. So you only need to get one official translation done, okay? Birth certificate, police certificate, okay? Then you can make copies of the translations, okay? You're good. Don't forget, you got to include those in the adjustment of status. If your beneficiary's birth certificate is in a foreign language, you got to include that translation, a copy of it, in the adjustment of status paperwork. Whoop slap, you can do a G1450, I think. It lets them take it from the credit card. That's correct. You can pay on a credit card with that form. That's exactly right. For the adjustment of status, or for the green, or for the K1 visa, you can pay on your credit card. They probably hit you with a 3% service fee, to cover the fee that the credit card company is going to bill immigration. Christopher Stout, yes. Daggy, thank you, Diego. However, I don't have money in my savings, but I can provide the letter from the bank stating that I have a bank and my new job is doing direct deposit. Would it be a problem? No. Remember, if you didn't make the income. Now, Katie Black, you just sent 250 something in a super chat. Now, I don't know what that is. But I don't know what that currency is. It's in a foreign currency. But thank you, Katie Black. High five. I mean, you guys are just spoiling me today. I'm going to Pete B and Katie Black. Thank you so much for those super chats. But Daggy, remember, listen. You're going to get a joint sponsor, okay? So if you don't have any money in the bank, don't worry about it. Immigration don't care. They're going to look at your joint sponsor now. They're going to look at you, your I-134, your bank statements, your pay stubs, and everything else. All right. They're going to look at it. But what they're more concerned about now isn't so much you, but your joint sponsor. Your joint sponsor has to be qualified financially for this benefit. They're going to look at yours and go, okay, yeah, Daggy's, she's right. She's not quite there on the money, but let's see the joint sponsor. They'll look at the joint sponsor and they go, okay, boom, your visa's approved. Let's see, Whoop Slap. Let me see. I don't want to miss Whoop Slap here. So I got to page up, guys. This thing moves pretty quick. So Whoop Slap, you're going to get married with the judge, waiting for my mom here, ceremony over there for her family. Now, Whoop Slap, if you do a ceremony in your beneficiary's home country, okay, right, do not tell immigration that you had a engagement ceremony in your beneficiary's home country. If your beneficiary dresses up in her cultural clothes and you get all these pictures, like all of our good friends, our beautiful friends in Africa, they love to have their cultural wedding engagement ceremonies, and the attire looks like a wedding. Okay? And then don't bring those pictures to the embassy interview, because the immigration officer might think you got married. Okay? Then that's a big problem. I've seen people get their visas denied at the embassy, primarily in African countries, because they brought to the embassy interview pictures of their engagement ceremony, and the immigration officer thought they got married. Pete B, we're going to a judge, there you go, and getting married immediately and have a ceremony later. Perfect. High five, Pete B. That's the way to do it. Get it done. Get it all done within 90 days. And Katie Black, thank you again for that super chat. I've got to decipher what country that money is from. I've never seen that before. Look, I don't know. That's the first. Zoila Molina. Hi, Diego. What's going on, Zoila? KD to Whoopsack. Is that peso? Brick Keith Solomon. Hi, what is the travel document name, please? Name. What is the travel document name? I'm not sure. What do you mean by travel document? The name of the travel document. Passport? Oh, advance parole. Okay. When you adjust your status for your green card, okay, you can get a work permit and you can get an advance parole document if you want to travel while waiting for the green card. If you want to work while waiting for the green card. I don't recommend doing it. I mean, that's up to you. And there's no charge for the green. There's no cost for the EAD work permit or for the travel document, which is advance parole. There's no cost. But most people are they're filing for their EAD work permit and then they're filing for their advance parole. Why would you use advance parole? People want to travel while waiting for their green card. So they come to America, right? They get married, whatever. And they in 90 days, and then they want to go back and see family and have a ceremony there. And they get the advance parole document to do that. Karina and I don't recommend it. I recommend that once you get to America, you stay here until you get your green card in your hand. Then if you want to travel on the green card. You know, that's just my opinion. You guys do as you want. This is your YouTube channel. This belongs to you. But this is information that I give to you. Christopher, it says $15 peso to USA dollars. Okay, well, fantastic. I think it's pesos. I have no idea. Whoop slap. It will be after our wedding. KD Black. Hi, Diego. My K1 petition was received July 10th, and now I'm waiting to hear from them. I know they changed my credit card immediately, but they have they've charged your credit card, but have received no communication from them. Okay, so so what you're telling me, KD, is you filed for your K1 visa, immigration billed your credit card. That's good. That means they got your K1 visa safely. Now, all you got to do now is wait for the NOA1 letter. Okay? 7 days, 10 days, 15 days, somewhere in there. 30 days is the maximum you should wait before inquiring. But you'll get your NOA1 letter pretty quick. Nick Palomo regarding the I-134. I love that. I love questions on the I-134. Do they factor in that I have a large student debt in good standing, or do they only care about income? Okay, if you have student debt, how is immigration going to know that unless you tell them? Right? I mean, lots of people got student debt. Immigration only care about your income. Now, if you want to tell them you got student debt, that's up to you. But if you don't tell them, it's irrelevant to the immigration process, right? It's none of their business. You're paying your student debt off, you're making your payments, you're good to go. Immigration just care about how much money do you make. All right? That's all they care about. How much income do you make? And is it above the threshold? Katie Black, yes, it is Philippines peso. Well, thank you so much, Katie Black. I am very honored to receive pesos from the Philippines. What a great honor from you. Thank you so much. That is, I'll tell, Karina probably knows. I think she's watching the live stream. But I'm going to tell her that Katie Black sent us some money from the Philippines to help with this channel. Nick Palomo. Now I understand dollars now. Thanks for your help. No problem, Nick. You're good to go, Nick. Thanks for that super chat. Katie Black, thank you for and Pete B also. The immigration only are concerned about what's your income. You know? Now, if you use your house as collateral, let's suppose you want to put your house as collateral, okay? Then immigration is going to want to know what's the equity in the house, okay? They want to know what's the value of the house. If you have a $400,000 house and your equity is $200,000, then you have $200,000 available out of the equity. Immigration would want to know that. But as for regards to student debt, student loans, they don't care unless you tell them. It's none of their business. If you have student loans, great job on you for going to college and working on your higher education. Good job on that. But immigration don't care. They just care about how much you make. Let's see. Whoop slap. Katie, I knew it. My fiance's from the Philippines. Well, whoop slap. You translated the pesos for me. Katie, thank you for the super chat. Zoila Molina. Hello, Diego. My case is ready. Okay. What does that mean? That means you're ready to go, right? That's right. Get processing. Britt Key Solomon, I did ask you that my fiance travel document is going to expire. Okay, that's correct. Did your beneficiary call the embassy and explain that to him? Okay, you got to find out. Call the embassy. Say, hey, my travel document's going to expire in 5 months. Can I still get my K-1 visa? I don't think it's going to be a problem, honestly. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Immigration are not going to, if you have an asylum, isn't your beneficiary in asylum? Which country? If I remember, your beneficiary got asylum in your country. So it's not going to be a problem. But to cover your base, call the embassy. France. That's right. In Paris, right? So Bricky, you're in Paris. And your beneficiary has a travel document to travel into France, right? And it expires in 5 months. Please call the embassy in Paris and confirm the process, okay, on how to extend that. Retro rock and roll. Whoa, look at you. Look at that super chat. Thank you, Retro. Number 1 in balloons, too. I like balloons. Thank you. Fantastic. Nick, Retro, Pete B, HD Black, all you guys. Zoila says thank you to Whoop. Hedrex Soldiero. Hey, Diego, still waiting for my welcome. Been 102 days. You should have it by now. Did an MVC inquiry. 102 days, 110 days. I've seen 120 days. So you're still you're right on the tail end of it. So you should get information from them. I would check your spam folder too in your email. Check your spam folder. Make sure it didn't go in there. but you're going to hear from him this week. Fazak, if you have a free and clear title to a home worth over $400,000 and no debt, do you still need to make minimum income or any income for approval? Okay, Fazak, here's my advice. Use the house if you want. If you don't have, here's my advice. If you got a $400,000 house free and clear, okay, that's great. But immigration want to see money coming in. They want to see cash coming in. You can use your house as collateral at the adjustment of status stage for the green card. But if the income is not there, I urge you and recommend you get a joint sponsor, even if you own a $400,000 house free and clear. Immigration officers, some will approve, some will send an RFE. Some immigration officers will say, okay, well, you got a $400,000 house, but I want to see the income. Some immigration officers are going to say, well, yeah, we're going to approve your green card. You got a $400,000 house. You're playing a game of chance with which immigration officer you're going to get. If your income is not sufficient, get a joint sponsor. Include it in the adjustment of status paperwork. Also include the house, okay, on the it's on page 3, I think, of the I-485, or the affidavit of support, the I-484. I'll make a video about this and my opinion on this. Okay, I'll make a video. I've seen people getting RFEs adjusting for green cards who are making $1,000, $1,500 over the minimum income requirement at 125%. If you don't make $2,000 above 125% the minimum income, I strongly recommend a joint sponsor, even if you've got assets. Now, if you got, $400,000 cash in the bank, then you probably won't need a joint sponsor. You can use your cash. If you have a $400,000 house, get a joint sponsor, because with a house, the immigration officer is going to say, well, you got to sell the house, then we got to wait for the buyout on the house, and it's a headache. Okay? Immigration officers control this whole process, and they're not going by the rules. Some of them, trust me, they're not following their own rules. So the secret to this is when you apply for the green card, if you don't make the income, if you are not $2,000 above 125%, get a joint sponsor, and then you'll get your green card without any hassles. This is my opinion. Okay, this isn't legal advice. I don't give you legal advice here. I'm not an immigration attorney, guys. I just know the process, and I'm watching the process. Okay, I'm watching it. I got my finger on the pulse, my thumb on the pulse on the embassies, the adjustment of status process, and everything. Retro rock and roll. Buy another pack of Mountain Dew, Diego. Oh, as soon as I get done with this live stream, I'm running over to Walmart because I only got 2 left in the fridge. Lamin Jabang. Oh, hold on a second. Jewel. I-134 has instructions. It has a list of documents, including a bank letter you need to provide. That's true. That's correct. Lamin Jabang. Hello, Diego. How are you? How are my fiance? How are my fiance have the approval letter, but I have not have any welcome letter? So if you got communication from the MVC, read it and follow those directions. You can call it a welcome letter. You can call it whatever you want. But if you've received directions from the National Visa Center, read them and see what it tells you to do. Britki Solomon. No, my fiance is asylum in France from Eritrea. Okay, so your fiance is from Eritrea and now lives in France. Okay. Let me ask you this: who gave the travel document? Who approved the travel document? The French government or the Eritrean government? Who's in control of that travel document that's going to expire in 5 months? Hedrex. Okay, well, thanks. Hey, Brian and Jacqueline, our friends from Colombia. Look at you. Man, you guys, I'm down to 2 Mountain Dews, don't you? How did you guys know I'm running out of Mountain Dew? I'm going to have to stock up. So I got Mountain Dew for the rest of the month. So I keep you guys entertained 3 times a week. Let me see here. Thank you, Brian and Jacqueline. How is everybody in your family? Hopefully everything's going smooth. Suave. Retro rock and roll. Thank you for all your help and input. Hey, not a problem. That's why we're here. I'm going to help you guys. Mahmoud Nagay. My interview is October and my medical exam is August. Is that okay? August, September. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Mohammed, no problem. You're good. Nick Palermo. My MVC inquiry response was in my spam folder to whoever was talking about that. There you go. Check your spam folder, guys, for immigration emails. And they took 3 days to respond. Okay, Nick. Whoop slap. That's a record. Brian and Jacqueline. Hi, Diego and Karina. What's going on? Now, thank you, Brian and Jacqueline, for that super chat. Guys, I appreciate you guys very much. The Mosquito Guy. Hello, Diego, my friend. My question tonight is that before the pandemic, let's say 2018, how long was the process between NOA 1 and NOA 2? It was about 10 months, 9 to 10 months. Brian and Jacqueline, we heard that you were out of Mountain Dew but had to help the cause. Oh, I knocked over one yesterday, right here. Boom, I knocked it over. And I checked the fridge, I got 2 left. But I can restock for the rest of the month, it looks like. Whoop slap to Mosquito Guy. My cousin did it right before the pandemic. And he got it done in 8 months. Yeah, it's pretty quick before the pandemic. I got mine done in 2016 in 9 months. Brian and Jacqueline, we are doing pretty good. We finally received the next set of instructions yesterday in an email. There you go. The embassy is controlling the process now, right? And they're telling you what to do. And Brian and Jacqueline says, how are you and Karina doing? We're good. We're doing fantastic. We're just waiting for our NOA 2. We are waiting for our MVC letter, welcome letter from the National Visa Center. Our communication, whatever you want to call it. You can call it the welcome letter. You can call it the MVC, hello, Diego letter, whatever you want to call it. And it's been when I did my first K1 visa in 2016, it only took 9 months to do the whole thing. I got my packet 4, and I got my welcome letter from the MVC. I did that part. Did the DS-160, got the visa interview within 10 days, and we were done in 9 months. Okay, Britt Key Solomon. He got the travel document from France. Okay, so the French government gave your beneficiary a travel document. Your beneficiary needs to go to the French government, the immigration office, and extend it. Okay, explain why. Okay, do you understand? He's got to go to the French government to get this done. Get it extended. Like when I was in Colombia, I had a Colombian visa to live in Colombia. I had to go to the Colombian immigration office to get my cedula. So it's an easy problem to fix. But he has to go to the French government immigration office in Paris and get it taken care of. Princess S. Hi, Diego. Question. I just received a letter from the MVC. Said embassy will contact me. Will I receive another letter? Yes. You will get a letter from the embassy saying ready. Then you start the ball rolling and get your K1 visa process. Brit Key. They said it would take 6 months. Okay. Get started on it. He needs to get it done. Brian and Jacqueline, we are glad to hear that you and Karina are doing well. Jacqueline said to send you both blessings from us and to say thank you for all your help you always give everyone. Not a problem. We are here for you. We're going to get you through this. It's no problem. And I've helped people, get their green cards, get their K1 visas. I helped a spouse. I helped a person with a spousal visa whose husband was trapped in South Africa. Okay, that the lady was telling me that I didn't have enough income to qualify for the spousal visa for the embassy interview. So I explained to her how to fix that. And when her husband went to the embassy interview in South Africa, he got his visa. And then when he landed at the airport, I think he landed at JFK, she sent me a little picture of him with an American flag and a South African flag and his bag and his suitcase where he got into the United States. I saved her from a massive immigration headache because she just didn't understand what to do. She didn't know. And because she didn't have the knowledge, it almost cost her her husband's visa. But we fixed it. I gave her the path. I gave her directions. She listened to me. She did what I asked her to do. Boom. She's with her husband right now. I don't know where they're living. I think they're in New York City. Britt K. Solomon, his interview is on 10/25/23, October 25, 23. Okay. Here's what I would say. Okay. If he has a visa interview for K1 on 10/25/23, the French travel document is irrelevant. It's irrelevant because you're going to have the K1 visa. Okay. That's all that you need to worry about. The K1 visa is a permission slip to travel to the United States of America. The travel document that the French government gave him for asylum, okay, gives him permission to travel into France. He's not traveling in France anymore. He's going to travel to America, okay? So he's good to go. Don't stress it, okay? He'll be fine. Get the visa interview done, get the K1 visa, get him on a plane to America. Forget about the travel document from the French government. It's irrelevant. Let me see. Jewel is talking to Princess. The embassy sent us an email 9 days after receiving the welcome letter. There you go. But we did not wait for it. Once our case was ready, we filled out the DS-160 and scheduled the medical exam. Proactive. And pay the visa fee. Schedule the interview. Boom. Get her done. Bricky, and thank you so much for your help. And I want to know if 52,000 income is enough for a household of 3. Perfectly, more than enough. You want to look at making $33,000 a year for an income for a family of 3. You are at $52,000 a year. You are way above that's required. You are fine, Bricky. You got nothing to worry about. The income is good. Don't worry about that French travel document. It's irrelevant. Your only concern is the K1 visa interview getting done on the October. Boom, get him out of there. Buy him a plane ticket or go to France, go to Paris, and fly with him to the United States. Bring him home. Mohammed, do they need updated letter of intent to marry from your fiance in interview? Yes, but it depends on the embassy too. Some embassies may not require it. But my advice to you is get second letters of intent to get married, get them written, get them signed, get them translated. 2 weeks signed and dated, 2 weeks before the visa interview. Bring them to the visa interview. If you don't need them, you don't need them, right? But if you need them, you got them. And then you don't get stuck in a 221G administrative hold because they're looking for the letter of intent to get married. Get them done, get them signed, have your beneficiary write it in his or her language of origin, unless he or she can speak English. Then you don't have to worry about it. But Karina can't speak English. So she's going to write her second letter of intent to get married in Spanish, right? Sign it, date it. I'll get it notarized in Bogota. We'll get it translated into English, and we'll bring it to the visa interview. If they want it, they're going to have it. If they don't want it, oh well, no big deal. Let me see. Vama Kina. Hi, Diego. How long is USCIS taking to approve I-129F? 11 to 12 months. Whoopslap. Yes, it is recommended to do an updated one. There you go. I recommend it too. I heard no one has asked for it, but don't want to get the guy or girl who asks for it. You never know, right? You never know. Get it done. Do the letters of intent to get married. Get them translated. Get them whatever. Bring them to the visa interview. And if they ask you for it, you got it. If they don't worry about it. Princess, thanks Diego and Jewel. No problem, Princess. Brian and Jacqueline, I apologize ahead of time because I know you have answered this question a million times. But first we pay the visa fee, then schedule the interview and do the DS-160, and then schedule the medical exam. You can do it in that order if you want to. What does the embassy tell you to do? Remember, you got to follow the directions of the embassy. If the embassy says you got to pay the DS-160, you got to fill out the DS-160 first, then do that. If the embassy says you got to pay the visa fee first, then do the DS-160, then do that. But here's what I would do. When you get the embassy packet 4 letter, they're going to tell you what to do. Pay the fee, fill out the DS-160, schedule the visa interview, schedule the medical exam. And try to get all that done within 30 days. Or if it takes longer to schedule the medical exam because of the wait time, schedule the medical exam. Do the DS-160, print the confirmation page, pay the visa fee. Do it in any order you really want to do it, but you're going to do it in the order that the embassy tells you to do it. Basically, the embassy is going to control this. Nature 09. Hi, Diego. Thanks for answering my question about the police clearance. No problem. My fiance says we don't need it because though she stayed overseas for 5 months and 30 days, she left the country hours before 6 months. So you're going to take a chance that because your beneficiary left the country a few hours before the 6 months was there, you don't need the police certificate. I think you need to get it. You're going to need to get it. Immigration, okay, are strict. They are strict. Get it done. She was on a business visa to Qatar, and she says they were very strict of her not going into the 6 month. Do you have that in writing? Do you have a letter from the Qatar government that says she was not in Qatar for 6 months? If you have that letter, if you got evidence that the nation of Qatar said you can't be in this country for 6 months, you're good to go. Then you don't need a police certificate. But if you have no evidence of that, immigration don't care. They're going to say you were there for 6 months. If you were short a few hours, immigration is going to say you were there for 6 months. You better get that police certificate, or you better get a letter from the Qatar government that says you were not there. Listen to me, guys. Nature 09, listen to me. I'm trying to save you a big headache. Because if you don't, let's suppose immigration asks for the police certificate. They ask you for it, and you don't have it. What's going to happen? No visa, right? No visa. Come on, guys. Throw some questions at me. I'm trying to help Nature 09. I'm trying to save you from a big headache. Okay, so your beneficiary was in Qatar for a Brick Key Salmon. You jumped my question. Let's see. Brick Key, you said his interview is in 10/25/23. And thank you so much for your help. I answered your question. Bricky, $52,000 is more than enough money for a K1 visa. You could support 5 people on that. You only bring in 3, right? You got 3. Nature 09. Oh, you would passport stamps in and out of the country suffice. She has that. Okay, Nature 09. So in her passport, it shows that she checked in on this day to Qatar, and she left on this day. Immigration is going to add up the days. They're not going to add up the hours. Okay? And the days are going to add up to 6 months. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. The passport stamp in and out, that time frame added up will be 6 months. Yes or no? I'm right. Get the police certificate. If you don't have the police certificate, okay, you may not get your visa. Immigration don't count hours. They count days. If I go to Colombia, I've got 90 days in Colombia. I don't have, they're not going to count 89 days and 22 hours. That's 3 months. Okay? Technically, I wasn't in the country for 3 months. I was short by 3 hours. But the Colombian immigration are going to count it as a day. Okay? Get the police certificate from Qatar. Get it done. Bricky, what question did I miss of yours? I'm trying to answer all your questions. Let me know what I missed. Whoopslap, Diego, thanks for letting me watch and answer questions with you. Now, hey, Whoopslap, come on. I have to go to the store and buy some Mountain Dew. No more LDR. Okay, well, go, Whoopslap, you go buy yourself some Mountain Dew, okay? And in 10 minutes, I'll end the live stream, and then I'm going to go buy me some Mountain Dew because I only got 2 left. And now I got cash to do it. Thanks to you guys. Brian and Jacqueline, Pete B, HD, Black, everybody. Let me see. Whoopslap. Okay, Jewel. Reference to police certificate. The Manila U.S. Embassy do not require police clearance, mostly Middle Eastern countries, as these countries do not issue police clearance if you do not reside there any longer. Now, Joel, if you have worked in Saudi Arabia, okay, it's impossible to get a police certificate from Saudi Arabia. It's impossible. You have to be in the country to get it. So there's a waiver. The U.S. State Department says, okay, if you lived and worked in Saudi Arabia, don't worry about it. You can't get the police certificate. Qatar may be the same. Qatar might have the same State Department waiver. I don't know. I will find out. Okay? If you cannot get a police certificate from Qatar because the Qatar government will not issue it unless you live in Qatar, that's different. That's different. But I don't know. I haven't researched it. So all I can do is answer honestly, in my opinion. If you lived in a country for 6 months or 5 months, 23 hours and 10 minutes, that's 6 months, get the police certificate. Bricky, I do not know if you are reading mine. I read your question. Sure, I read it. Yes, I read it in the U.S. Embassy Manila website. Okay, well, that's the U.S. Embassy in Manila. Okay, so depends on the embassy, but it also depends on the State Department too. If you lived and worked in Saudi Arabia, if you're not in Saudi Arabia, it's pretty much impossible to get a police certificate. So they give it a waiver. NI87, hi Diego, how long does it take to obtain U.S. citizenship? If you marry a U.S. citizen on a K-1 visa, you can apply for U.S. citizenship 3 years from the issue date on your temporary green card. So when you get to the United States, you adjust your status. You're going to get a green card. It's a 2-year temporary green card. There's an issue date on it. 3 years from that issue date, you can apply. 3 months back from the 3 years from the issue date is when you can apply for U.S. citizen. If you are married to a U.S. citizen, which you will be if you're coming in on a K-1 visa. If you come to the United States on a, let's say, a student visa, and then you get permission to live in the United States permanently, then you have to wait 5 years. But if you are married to a U.S. citizen on a K-1 visa, you can apply for U.S. citizenship after 3 years from the issue date on the temporary green card. Bricky, do you have any idea if he needs to bring his own interpreter? No. Does he speak French? Does he speak English? What language does he speak? Does he only speak Eritrea? What languages does he speak? Bricky? If he can speak French, he doesn't need a translator because he's going to go to the French embassy. Brian and Jacqueline, I don't know if you have already answered this, but the I-134 is still the same edition, or have they updated it? No, it's still the same edition. Use the one right now, you can use the July 2023 I-134. Nothing's changed. So let's suppose then I get my welcome letter tomorrow. And then I get my ready status in, I don't know, 4 weeks. First thing I want to do is check the I-134 and check for the update on the form. If it hasn't changed, I'm going to fill it out and get ready to bring it to Colombia. Joel, 3 years, but be careful with traveling outside the U.S. You're required certain days to be physically in the U.S. within the 3 years. That's correct. But we would assume that, right? If you come into America to get married and to live, you're going to be in America, right? So, if you leave America for 6 months, you could be abandoning your green card. NI87, one last question. Diego, are you American? Yes, just your accent isn't typically American. Well, I'm an American. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to apply for a K1 visa, right? Right? Nature 09, I think Jewel may be right because we don't have the special IDs the Qatar embassy is asking for the police clearance. They are good. They are given to other types of visas. I'll consider all of this. Thank you. Nature 09. What you need to do is Google State Department, go online, Google State Department, Police Clearance Certificate, Qatar. See what comes up and see what you can find. Bricky, no, he only speaks his mother tongue and Arabic, no English or French. Okay, so he speaks only Eritrea or Arabic. And the question is, does he need a translator? Well, I don't know. What? This is the U.S. Embassy in Paris, France. I don't know. I would say bring a translator who can speak English and Arabic to the interview and see if he's needed, okay? Just to cover yourself. I think it would be pretty hard to find a Eritrean in France, but an Arabic-speaking person will probably be easier to find. That's what I would do. I would bring the Arabic, English-speaking person with me to the interview. Or call the embassy in Paris and ask them. Ask the question, do I need a translator? Christopher Stout, breaking news, Diego. Everyone he knows his stuff on this process. Be patient, ours will be coming soon. Christopher, good words right there. And none perfect. Brian, I apologize for asking repeat questions. Unfortunately, I've missed the past couple of live streams. Been working super long hours. No worries, Brian and Jacqueline. You good? You can ask me any questions you want. If you miss a live stream, it's okay. This is your channel, guys. You can be here or not be here. It's up to you whenever you can. It's up to you, okay? Cheers, NI87. Just for a moment, your accent sounded Australian. I've never been to Australia, but I would love to go. Australia, New Zealand, what's that island they have off the coast of Australia? Tasmania. I would love to go there and visit. No misunderstanding. You're good. It's a good question. Jewel, I studied about police clearance because my fiance has worked in the Middle East years ago. There you go. Bricky. Okay, thanks. Bricky. You got to have your beneficiary call the U.S. Embassy in Paris and ask them, do I need a translator? Okay. But if you can find somebody that speaks Arabic and English and French, would be good too. But primarily Arabic and English. Okay. Bring that person to the interview just in case. But I would call the embassy and ask them also. You might have somebody at the U.S. Embassy in Paris who speaks Arabic. Right? Possibility. Bricky, I wish I would be there with him during the interview, but been there 5 times in 1 year and a half. You went to France 5 times in a year and a half? Fantastic. That's a lot of plane rides. I bet you got jet lagged. Good job, though. And I make sure you keep all those boarding passes and plane tickets for your adjustment of status. Ellison, the approval notice I'm talking about. Okay. Come on, guys, hang in there. Now, I've been talking for an hour and 29 minutes, hour and 30 minutes. If you need a police certificate from Qatar, Google that online, U.S. State Department, Qatar police certificate. It will tell you whether you can get a waiver from it or not. If it's Middle East, you may get a waiver. I don't know. I can't answer that, but investigate it. I'm going to go now, guys, and go and get some Mountain Dew. I got 2 left. I know I'm going to run out by the night. And thank you guys for the super chats. You are greatly appreciated. I will be back here. What's today? Wednesday? So I'll be back on Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Although I might do a live stream surprise chat on Friday. Maybe I'll do it early in the morning so our friends in England and Australia and New Zealand can catch the live stream. Okay, guys. Thank you, Bricky. And we'll not forget inviting you and Karina in our wedding in Maryland. Can't wait. We can't wait. Okay, see you later, guys. And please don't stress the process. Please be patient. Be patient. You got to relax during this process. Remember, this is my second K1 visa. I went through a spousal visa, right? I went through the School of Hard Knocks. So I know how to do this. And my advice to you is going to help you. See you on Saturday, or maybe I'll see you on Friday. I might do a surprise live stream.